Guys, good morning. I'm coming right back again for what looks like it's my third video of the day, and this is probably the most important video of the day. I know I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I know, and I've stated if you heard my earlier ones, that I need a day to recuperate mentally after last night. Um, Anything I'm about to say in this video, I don't mean disrespectful, not in any way, shape, or form. And I'm going to try to put the positives that is there. There's a lot of positive from last night. But before I do that, I also, if you know me, you know I need to be real. And you know, for those of you that know that God is taking control of this journey, last night was there for a reason as well. And I hope you can understand when I'm up and excited, you guys catch my passion. And I hope that you can understand the conflict or the I don't know, not pain, but the respect and appreciation of things. So first of all, before any of you go any further, just take a deep second, a few seconds to pause. Just close your eyes, think about your family, think about your job, think about your life, and be appreciative of it right now. Give those people close to you a hug, because right now, if there's a day I ever needed my kids to give me a hug, I'm not gonna get emotional. It's today. If ever I needed every PTT family member to give me a hug, it's today. And it's not about me. It's just because I'm emotional, and today's an emotional day. So there was a lot of things last night that I had my eyes opened up to, or was a gut check. And part of it was amazingly beautiful, and a lot of it to me was sad. So how do I address it? Because I don't mean any disrespect. So yesterday, I met Chris, and inside of about 45 minutes, he said, "Hey, you got a place to stay with me." And I've been fortunate on this journey to stay with some amazing people who have made many accomplishments in their life and have wonderful, wonderful families and homes. And I've stayed with people that live on 50 plus acres. I've stayed with people that have just beautiful homes, beautiful families. Last night wasn't that, and maybe why I'm so emotional by it. It's because I've been fortunate to live both places. I've lived like what I left this morning. So Chris extended to me inside of 45 minutes a person he didn't know a place to stay. And I didn't know because I was kind of letting him do his thing at work. I didn't want to get in his way. I didn't know how special that offer was, and what I was going to learn from it. So Chris got off work, and I've been blessed with people on this journey. I left with $6, and I could tell you that I have more than $6 in my pocket right now. I don't have a lot more than $6, but because of you people, my family, slipping a 10 or a 20 in my pocket as I've gone from town to town, I've been able to survive. Sometimes it's this pay it forward moment or movement that people talk about. And what's nice for me in this moment is I'm able to tell you that last night I was able to give back in some way as much as I could because of you people enabling me to do so. Chris has 2 children, and had to get home to get them picked up from his babysitters. I offered to buy dinner for the family, just a pizza. He was real grateful about that. I understand why now. Not only does Chris have 2 children, he grew up from a very broken home himself. And as a result of that, even though he doesn't have much of anything, and again, I don't mean it disrespectfully, he's taken under his wing a 16-year-old young man who's also come from a very broken family. And I don't really want to go into the details about it. You just have to trust me. Maybe the book will say a lot different. But, you know, for those of us that live a comfortable life, and by comfortable, I don't mean filled with riches of gold and diamonds and yachts and sports cars. I just mean a comfortable life. There's a certain segment of our population that is really struggling. And I talked in my earlier YouTube videos about, you know, the young kid that gets into selling drugs, who sees his mom working 3 jobs and still gets the electric shut off, and, you know, he sees somebody roll up and peeling off $20 bills, and how desirous that could be to a 14 or 15-year-old person that's seen so much, right? Whether it's the devil speaking or God or whatever, it's perspective. And when I went to Chicago, I was told by nearly every person, don't go to Chicago. Don't go to this area. It's crazy what's going on right now. People are killing people. And my response to that was, that's exactly why I have to go. Because I'm talking about, if you read my shirt, showing kindness and giving compassion. And wouldn't I be a big hypocrite if I walked by a certain segment of our population and said, you know what, you guys, the ones that are living in it, that are trying to survive, that are trying to do the right thing, aren't worthy of my time or attention because there's other bad people making it bad for you. I just couldn't do that. I didn't change the world. I didn't move into the neighborhood, but I did take the time to go and let the people know I love them and try to get some perspective of it. Well, there's a certain segment of our population that struggles financially, struggles emotionally, has issues, and maybe this goes back to what our indifference is. You know, I talk about we can only be friends to these 10 people. Because maybe we're afraid if we open ourselves up to seeing broken families and broken people, that maybe it'll break us, or maybe we'll think they'll ask us for something we can't give, or maybe they'll hurt us in some way, emotionally or physically. So anyway, Chris and I got in his car and we drove to go pick up a couple diet sodas for me. You've seen me drinking one. Pick up some dinner, and he said to me, hey, I got to make a stop and pick up a couple other people. You're going to get to meet, not only got to pick up my kids, you're going to meet a couple friends of mine. And we got back to the house, and again, no disrespect, but, you know, squalid might be the definition I would use. And I got to meet a couple of his friends. And again, you talk about people going through things. The one gentleman is blind, has a little bit of sight up close. He's got scars on 40% of his body because through his own fault he was playing with fire and things when he was younger and got burned up. His significant other, and I say this only to give perspective, not to be judgmental. He's a 32-year-old Caucasian. His significant other is a African-American young lady who admittedly yesterday had an amazingly tough day. She's trying to survive. She's trying to be supportive of this young man and love him. And you know, that's not easy to do sometimes when people are broken. She has her own issues. She was born born addicted to crack cocaine. Placed for adoption. Was in 7 foster homes. Admittedly, wasn't the best person. Where I give her a ton of credit is that she admits I did bad things. I stole from people. But what she had the insight to see was that she didn't steal for the sake of stealing. That was her defense mechanism to push people away. If I get these people to hate me, I'm not capable of being loved. I'm not worthy of being loved. So I'm going to act out and do whatever I can in my power to get them to not love me. So along with the challenges that life throws out there, you throw out the challenges of interracial and how they have to deal with that, and they made it clear that they've had to deal with that. In the meantime, you've got, well, let me tell you what else happened that day. So Chris got a call. She was in court for an offense that she had to go deal with. Not a good thing. Nobody likes to be in court. I don't think I'd be at a place if I tell you it was for a driving under the influence. She came out of court, started freaking out. Her car was gone. She calls the police to report her car stolen. They come to find out her car was repossessed. On top of that, because you're going into court, you can't bring your cell phones and things like that in there. So guess where her and her fiance left their phones? In the car that was repossessed. How do you reach out to people? They left her purse in the car. You know, you talk about a day that would cause a lot of people to snap, and I guarantee you that 99% of you out there right now have never ever dealt with a day like that. I'm not saying that there's not reason for it and she didn't bring it on herself or they didn't bring it on themselves, but I'm just stating the facts. Through this whole, Chris has his kids there, 9 and 2. And what I was so touched by was the love. His little 2-year-old is so attached to him. If he leaves to step outside for a minute, Dada, Dada, Dada. She just needs him, man. She's that attached to him. His 9-year-old son, I'm really tight. My son's 9 years old. We're super tight. We hug, we kiss, we tell each other we love each other. We probably do it more than any other father and 9-year-old son, that father-son that I know of. You know, bedtime, hey, come give me a hug and a kiss. This little kid didn't come out. And Chris said something that I was already thinking. And Chris said, man, Jim, I am rich. And I've said this to my own kids. Back home, I struggle to put on a facade that I got myself all together in a financial way. But I'm a grinder and a survivor. But I tell my kids all the time, I'm the richest guy. If I died tomorrow, I'd be the richest guy in the world. Because I got everything I need inside those 4 walls. My children and the love they have for me and myself. And here comes yet another car turning around and stopping in this little turnaround. There must be something with GPS around here that's kind of cockeyed. Anyway, so for Chris to have the appreciation and the love of his children, his kids didn't one time say what they don't have. And now it's starting to rain on top of everything. God, Missouri's weather is just goofy. I swear to you, I looked at the forecast, it did not rain all day. And I'm getting rained on. Luckily, I'm under a tree for the most part. Anyway, so now one time did his kids come out and complain about what they don't have. Now one time did Chris come out and complain about what he doesn't have. Chris is a widower. I didn't ask the details. Chris is trying to be a single father right now because his kid's mom is in a court-appointed rehab. I don't think a drug rehab. I think kind of a rehab, a parenting, get your stuff together rehab. And I heard the backstory about that. I don't want to keep rambling on here right now because this will be my 3rd video, even though I could. But what was so amazing to me was how this gentleman, who to most of us we would say has almost nothing, has a mentality that he has everything, and that he opened his doors to me, and he opened his doors to these friends, and generally felt bad that he couldn't help them more when they needed a ride today because they couldn't call him. It takes a really special kind of person to not point the finger and blame the world for your problems and your issues, and to look around what other people have and be upset that you don't have that. It takes an amazing man to put a full day in at work and come home and try with every ounce of energy he has to be the best father he can be. And to see these 2 young kids love their dad the way they do, I can only say, hey, hats off to you, Chris. I mean, hats off, brother. You know, you've been given a raw deal as a young man yourself, and you're still fighting through, and you're going to keep fighting, and I love you for that. I love you for opening your home to me. I know you don't have work today, so I kind of got out of there because I didn't want to be a burden to anybody. I'm running short on time here. But guys, appreciate the loved ones you have, appreciate the homes you have, appreciate the lifestyle you have. We could all want for more. We could. But you could also, I gotta get an overhang. It's starting to rain, guys. Pretty hard. I love you all. I gotta wrap up anyway. Landon, Kira, Grace, you got school tomorrow. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. I hope you guys understand that I didn't mean any disrespect with anything I said. I just want to give perspective. Thanks, guys.